So this is it. This is happening. Welcome to another episode of my Seattle Sea Cattle franchise mode series here on NHL 18. And indeed, it is time to begin our first season sim. Of course, we established the first ever team, the first incarnation of the Sea Cattle. It's a mix of veterans, players you wouldn't see in the rosters anymore, at least not my rosters, with Datsuk, Savard, Doan, Lupul, Pronger, and it's in general just a terrible roster. But again, this is a Draft to Glory style challenge. That brings me to the draft class, which we've talked about how difficult this is going to be, which again is the point. Drafting only players from the 4 teams based in Washington State out of the WHL. The other issue, of course, is with this not being my updated rosters. We are missing prospects that EA either haven't added in or haven't been able to add in, and we also have certain players that are a bit more highly rated than they perhaps should be. But with that as well, there are that's a two-way street. There are players that are better than they should be. There are players that are worse than they should be. So I don't really have the knowledge, I'd say, because it's been so long since we started the Hartford die. What the hell was the die there for? Anyway, it's been, can you tell? Guess what time it is? Late for me. That's the correct answer. I have no way really I have ways of knowing. I simply do not remember what a lot of these players are rated because of the crazy amount of work that I put into editing my own updated rosters. So if someone thinks like, oh, well, he's definitely going to pick this guy and this guy, even though he has a limited base, that might not be the case. That might not be the case. But regardless, let's get this show on the road. As far as our arena and stuff like that, I think I'm going to save it for a very special occasion. And a season opener, a team debut, is not a good enough reason. I require playoffs before we get to look at the arena and these beautiful, beautiful jerseys in action. Now, of course, with this team being as bad as it is, one has to wonder how many games we are going to win. Do you think we'll hit 5 wins? Maybe 10 if we're feeling lucky. I'm not sure. I'm just kind of hoping for 3. Again, as this is a Draft to Glory, we will not be making any trades, and I need to actually go turn off the trade notification alert, which I can do. And we do win our first game. It comes almost a month into our season. We beat the 2-7 New York Rangers, who have zero excuse to be losing to us and to be that bad. But they did. So I am cool with it. Let's go ahead. Of course, scouting assignment warning, I need to turn back on. Trades and waivers can go off. Waivers will be on, but the notifications about said waivers will be good to go. We don't have injuries on at the moment, so we're good. I'm going to change that to authentic just in case we jump into a game at some point. And actually, you know what? I'm going to change that over to sim. Let's go authentic. Changed fighting into 1 out of 1. Injuries are off. I'm honestly not sure why these settings were the way they were. As far as a lot of the in-game stuff, that's not going to make a difference unless we jump in to the gameplay. But there we go. We're good. We are good. We'll change it up to 6 out of 6. Real-time use during shorthanded even strength situation. Yeah, that's good. All right, so with that taken care of, let's get the sim back on track here. Again, after winning our first game, Chris Kelly is our leading scorer with 7 points in 9 games. Chris Kelly outscoring Pavel Datsuk, which there is a 3 overall point difference there, but I have to admit, I am still quite surprised. The Tacoma Evergreens are at a 2 and 8, by the way. I do wonder, am I going to get the alert for scouting? There it is. All right. Well, that answers my question. We'll go right back to the W for 6 weeks. We'll work on defensemen. I will say, the one thing I remember is that the first year draft is typically notoriously quite bad, I'd say. Wow, we have 4 wins. Okay. So that might answer your question about can we hit 5 or 10 wins. The first-year draft is notoriously bad, but I am having to wonder just how good the second-year draft will be. I don't know. I'm not sure how this series is going to play out. Obviously, with the Draft to Glory series that we had run, there had been some minor roster editing. And with the previous 32nd team expansion that we had done, we had the ability to get whoever we wanted with the Whalers. So this is uncharted territory for us. Just a Draft to Glory with the default roster is uncharted territory. Combine that with it being Draft to Glory style and it being as specific as it is. I said I wanted a challenge. This is my best challenge, my greatest challenge yet. Just for how specific this is. It's not just Draft to Glory. It's not just, it's not even like, only a certain nation or certain player types like Goon Squad. It's players from 104 junior teams. Like, it's so specific, but if we can find success in this series, which again, there is so much pressure, I'm not allowed to trade. So in future seasons, when there are those generated players, if it comes down to the lottery or if I simply pick the wrong player, we are going to be feeling the effects of that for a very, very long time. And if it's a good enough player, that's something that we might not ever overcome. So I like it. I like the high-pressure drafting situations. I like a challenge. And hey, again, it's an excuse to run a Seattle franchise in a different way. Again, so we will only be scouting the WHL throughout every single season. We do have 10 wins on the year. One has to wonder. I'd say 20 is out of reach, but 15 might be possible. Maybe. The Evergreens are hanging in there close to 500, but they'll probably finish below 500 as well. So can we hit the 15-win mark? That is my question. Yes, it's funny. Is it funny? It's funny to me that the Evergreens logo is what it is, but, inside joke and all. Not even an inside joke. It's just paying homage to the clearly inferior Seattle-based team, at least compared to the Sea Cattle. But that's all. In case I gotta admit, there are some days where I have nothing to talk about, but I can kind of out of nowhere think, all right, how can I bide the time? If you are new to watching a Draft to Glory series of mine, you will know that because we sim through an entire regular season in one episode, I often run out of things to talk about and we enter rambling territory like we are now. Case in point, where I can talk about how I don't have anything to talk about. That's part of my magic. It's a gift or a curse, depending on your viewpoint. But that does bring me to today's situation where I have absolutely nothing to talk about. Aside from mentioning real world stuff, which I don't like dating the episodes, but hey, William Karlsson, overtime winner in Game 3 between Vegas and the Sharks. William Karlsson is the man. I won't make fun of Columbus because I made fun of the Buffalo Bills. I've been making fun of a lot of teams lately, kind of, or at least what people have been interpreting as making fun of their team. So I won't do that, Columbus. I'm still disappointed that Columbus kind of blew it in the first round, but there I am taking shots at a team according to some. There were really late up. There you go. You want to talk about not dating an episode. There were really late uploads of both the Sens and Rock Flag and Eagle series last night, so make sure you check those out if you haven't already, if you missed them, as our first season has come to an end. The Sea Cattle finish with 19 wins. So the closest without going over, if you said 15, really, if you said 18 or below, you win. Congratulations. If you said we'd hit 20 wins, you lose. Price is Right rules. Good day, sir. As Joffrey Lupul led this team in points, 45 points in 82 games. We finished the season with 47 points as a team. I do wonder who could have possibly finished in 30th as Pittsburgh wins the President's Trophy. The New York Rangers, perhaps not that surprising, 71 points. Although, of course, at this time, they still had Ryan McDonough and numerous others. But again, Joffrey Lupul leads this team in points, tied with Shane Doan. Poor Shane Doan being stuck on this team. Mike Richards was up there, Kobasu, Lombardi, and Datsuk, all over 30 points. Savvy with 23. Not too bad. You see Pronger there as well. Of course, the plus-minuses weren't as out of control as as we've previously seen on Draft to Glory series, but that is because we have a better starting team. The goaltending was shockingly good. Enroth with a 904, McKenna with a 911. Who would have thought? I never would have guessed a goaltender would have had a 900, let alone both being above a 900 save percentage. Matt Murray led the league in wins. We'll take a look here at rookie skaters while we can, as Sebastian Aho with 53 points will take the win. Besser at a 79 overall. Technically his rookie season. Matt McAvoy, Jost, Besser, all of them without pictures. It bothers me, kind of, but there's only so much I can do. Ovi with 94 points led the league. He and Patrick Kane, the only two to break the 90-point mark. Sven Berchke put up 76 points. Neat. That's my only reaction to seeing Sven Berchke put up that many points. It's not, oh boy, it's something. It's something. I'll hold my tongue, but it's something to see that happen. Anyway, we are good to sim to the end of the regular season, or to the end of the postseason. We're already at the end of the regular season. Have I mentioned that I'm off my game right now? Have you noticed in the past 11 minutes or so that I might be just a little bit off my game, which is good. That's what you want to do when you're in the early stages of a new series, is have one episode where you are just completely off your game, you're rambling nonsensically, you're stumbling over everything, you're running into two different trains of thought at the same time, and you combine the sentences and you just sound like a freak and an idiot. And now you're stalling with pauses for no reason whatsoever, just until you can get to the end of the postseason so that you can say the Stanley Cup champions of the 2017-18 season are not the Seattle Sea Cattle, but it happens to be the best team in the NHL. We'll find out after the scouting assignment. Oh my God, Pittsburgh wins the Cup in the least exciting result in the history of time. The Penguins are Stanley Cup champions. No matter what you do, you can't stop the three-peat. You cannot stop the three-peat. Let's take a look at the playoff tree. We'll also take a look at the Penguins squad. Pittsburgh beats Dallas in 6 in the finals. So Pittsburgh beat Detroit in 7. They beat Columbus in 5. Tampa in 7. And then they beat Dallas in 6. So Tampa beat the Bruins in 5 in the second round. Let's hope that that's not a sign of things to come. Am I right? Yes, I am. And you don't you dare disagree. As Malkin with 26 points in 25 games more than likely won the Conn Smythe. Forward-wise, Malkin, Kessel, Crosby, Sherry, Gensel, Hornquist, Backlund. They acquired Backlund, Kuhnhackl, Hagelin, Brian Rust, Carter, Rowney, and Scott Wilson. On defense, Christopher Letang, Justin Schultz, Oli Mata, Brian DeMullen, Chad Ruedel, and Ian Cole. The goaltender, Matt Murray, with a .934 save percentage in 25 appearances. Again, shocking that the Penguins won yet again. The three-peat is complete. Again, they also broke the President's Trophy curse. Ovechkin wins the Art Ross and the Hart. The Norris goes to Brent Burns for the second straight year. Patrick Kane wins the Lady Byng. The Calder goes to Aho. Matt Murray, the Conn Smythe, and the Vezina, and the Jennings. Mark Stewart wins the Masterton. The Rumble Award, the Rumble Memorial Trophy, goes to Mark Stewart. The Selke goes to Bergeron. Ovi gets to Ted Lindsay, and the Rocket Richard. Ovechkin's the man. That's what we've learned. At least not in the playoffs, because they lost in the first round, but that's okay. The point leader, the AHL point leader, was Dylan Strome. The league MVP was Remy Ellie. Is it Ellie or Eli? I think it's Ellie. The goal-scoring king, De La Rose, who ended up on the Sens. The rookie of the year was Dylan Strome. Honka was defenseman of the year. Berube, goaltender of the year. And the MVP of the playoffs, Al Montoya, for the Laval Rockets. And that, my friends, concludes Season 1. We can now move on to the main event of the evening, although we are making what I feel to be very quick time. Although we did lose the lottery, we end up with the 3rd pick, but it's not all that devastating. I'm not surprised that we ended up with the 3rd pick, as the Islanders and Oilers via New Jersey move up. Of course they did. I've noticed that this year. I feel like the sim might be a little bit faster. Just a little bit, because I have been making it, oh my god. I have been making it through seasons of Draft to Glory sims much, much more quickly, as we lose half of our team. Pronger, Ryan Perrott, Kelly, Neal, Tutu, Kostopoulos, Tallinder, Bolton, Doan, who apparently had 82 games played in his career, Kobasu, Datsuk, Joel Lundqvist, and Mark Savard. We did not lose any goaltenders, however, but that is a rough way to go, as Backstrom and Gerber retire as well. Ginla, Ribeiro, Cullen, Pronger. Trying to sort by games played, but the menu is deciding to just be difficult with me. So we'll move on. You know the players that are leaving. Let's get down to business. Should I have looked at the draft class before we jumped into this? Maybe. But does it really matter? At least not in the first year draft. And if anything, I'd prefer to not know who we're going to miss out on, even though we pretty much know. Anderson McDonald being top 5, case in point, as to EA just kind of guessing with, okay, we think this prospect's going to be good heading into next year, which, you know, doesn't always work out. Rasmus Dahlin goes to Edmonton, Joe Veleno to the Islanders. The Sea Cattle are on the board, and no, we are not allowed to trade down. Yes, I know, that puts us into one hell of a situation, and the situation is that Riley Sutter is our best option, unless I go with Onyebuchi. That is it. So again, the teams we're allowed to pick from: Tri-City, Seattle, Everett, and my god, I'm blanking on the 4th team. Everett, Tri-City, Seattle. Who am I forgetting? It's not Moose Jaw. Why am I forgetting? Spokane. There we go. I knew I saw the team name earlier. I'm like, oh my god. I'm freaking out. But again, Everett, Spokane, Seattle, and Tri-City. So, for the first round, oh my god, no coughing fits, please. I don't want to. It comes down to either Montana Onyebuchi, who, if I recall, is actually half decent, or it comes down to Riley Sutter, who I think is high top 9. I think. So, forward or defenseman, Onyebuchi, I think, is high top 6, if I'm not mistaken. But is Sutter high top 9? I don't remember. I'm going to go 4. And you see how awful this gets down the road. I'm going to go for Sutter and hope that he's high top 9. Thank you, Jesus. He's a 57 overall. 18 years old. He was projected to be a top 10 pick. High top 9 isn't terrible. I don't remember what Onyebuchi is. I think he's high top 6, if I'm not mistaken. It'd be a miracle if he's still on the board. See, God, nope, don't talk about how bad some of these potentials are. Don't do it. Don't do it. Everybody knows, because you've told them a million times over and over again. Onyebuchi is high top 6, so we were getting the equivalent of, we were getting a half decent forward. Yes, I know, medium elite goalie. His name's goalie, he's not an actual goalie. We've talked about this a million times before. But, like I said, it was either a high top 9 forward or a high top 6 defenseman. I decided to go for the forward, which brings us to the second round pick, in which case we are 100% boned. Just outright boned. That's all. We're just completely boned. Brett Leeson is available. I can't imagine he's any good. Popovich is not. Farron is not. And from there, oh boy. That's all I have to say. Defensively, it's just awful. And goaltenders, there's a couple of high starters, but that's it. I mean, I might take a goaltender. None of them are projected to be drafted. Oh my god. This is what I wanted, though. This is what I wanted. This is what we signed up for, and I'm pumped. So let's see here. Again, Popovich is not available, which leaves Ty Smith as the next logical option. So Ty Smith, who, of course, in real life is projected to be a half-decent draft pick, how good is he in this high AHL top 2? Considering the quality of the rest of the players we are about to draft, that honestly isn't that bad. You'll see, it's about to get a whole lot worse. It's a very sharp drop-off. And again, in future seasons, I mean, put it this way, again, if you haven't watched Draft to Glory, number one, what's the matter with you? Go check out the series from last year on NHL 17 with the Capitals, and check out Draft to Glory Goon Squad from earlier this year. Again, I didn't plan on doing another Draft to Glory series this soon, but this idea really piqued my interest, and it's killing two birds with one stone by having a Seattle franchise at the same time. That said, again, this is going to be our biggest challenge, but this is what I was looking forward to. I want it to be difficult. So we have Leeson in the 7th round. Matthew Wedman of the Thunderbirds. I think I am going to pick players off, though, from teams, or players that are supposed to be drafted. And that leaves us Leeson and Wedman. But case in point, the first few years of Draft to Glory are mainly about just getting players onto the team. It really doesn't matter how bad they are. It takes a few seasons for us to be able to fully build a team out of players that are eligible for us to use. As I'm going to take Wedman here. It's not going to be good, but we'll go for it. To be honest, it's a little bit better than I thought it would be. AHL top 6, 58 overall. That brings us to the 5th round. Do people care about draft steals? Maybe, maybe not, but let me know. I mean, I suppose I could go through it all, but that's just even further torture, don't you think? Again, these are all real players, so if anything, I need to rely on just going for those who, might have some chance of being half decent. And Beck Warm is the first goaltender available to us, and the only goaltender available to us. So let's hope that Beck Warm is better than the other goaltenders that are exact potential, and he is not. He's worse. That's good. Low AHL starter, Beck Warm. Oh, boy. Well, that might be... I mean, we had a couple of disappointments last year. That might be my first true disappointment, to somehow end up with a goaltender who is even worse than the exact starters that are listed, the ungodly amount of exact starters. But let's see here. I mean, at this point, again, with all of these guys being real players, I don't really think we're going to see that many generated players. I wish you didn't play for Medicine Hat, Dalton. Man, Dalton Galley didn't even have a pick, as in a picture at the start of this game. That's crazy to me. All right. Oh, boy. Okay, well, I mean, I guess there's that outside chance, but odds are they're bad. Odds are they are bad. Dawson Davidson. I was really hoping his name would be David Davidson. I would definitely take him here. Jacob Christensen. I'm going to guess your potential is even worse. So let's just find somebody that I'm familiar with who might be Dakota Krebs, Tri-City. Could take Dakota Krebs, Danny Gattenby. I thought, are there 3 Gattenbys? Because I could have sworn it was Doug, Joe, but no, I could have sworn it was Doug and Joe. I didn't know there was a Danny. The Gattenbys. Now that's a reality show. Riley Bruce, Regina Pats, unfortunate. Sass! Carson Sass! I wish I could draft you. Captain Carson Sass. Oh boy, I'm running out of time. Matt LeDuc from the Spokane Chiefs. He's an absolute monster. How do you decide on who to take, right? Just how do you? I have to basically go off of names that I like and that might be underrated, like Topping, who's definitely not underrated, but still his name. Oh, yes, Dawson Butt. Welcome to the team. Welcome to immaturity. He's a 48 overall, but don't you dare tell me that Dawson Butt was a bad selection. I won't have it. So we have a forward, a goaltender, I need another defenseman. So this last pick will be a defenseman. The question is, who will it be? Your guess is as good as mine at this rate. Let's see. Who do we have that is eligible? We have a Zachary. That's not how you spell Zachary. Mr. and Mrs. Hayes, what are you doing? Dylan Plouffe, the Vancouver Giants. You know, I really wish I could take Sass, but I can't. Murray, who are you? Jameson Murray. Who names their kid Jameson? Oh, never mind. Okay. You think they had their kid young? I might take Dakota Krebs here. Stanley? Matthew Stanley with Swift Current Broncos. DeYoung is an option. Any other names I recognize? I mean, there are names I recognize here, but is there one that really jumps off the page? Kalen Addison, who is underrated, plays for Lethbridge. Who else? There's got to be that one. I know I'm taking way too much time with this, but man, we're going to be stuck. Is this Beck? That has to be Beck's brother. Has to be. It has to be. Esposito? Dre Esposito. Okay, that's not Dre, really. Schaldhaus. Ralph Jarrett? Victoria. Damn it, I knew that too. Come on. There's got to be somebody, please. Well, with that, welcome your newest Seattle. We're going to go with the guy who, we're going with Dakota Krebs. Let's go for old Dakota Krebs. 55 overall. What a guy. What a draft. What a draft. Look at the caliber of players that we have drafted. And yes, the irony of drafting Warm and then Butt back to back is not lost on me. Humor at its finest. Pay me, Comedy Central, or just Netflix, HBO, somebody pay, because damn it, my comedy is intentional and deserves to be shown to the world. It's funnier than anything that's ever come out of Kevin Hart's mouth. Anyway, who do we want to keep? Do I want to let these guys go? You know what? I'll see if they want to re-sign, because there's a chance that they might not. Enroth, we have $63 million in cap space. So, Jonas, how would you like $15 million to stay here for one more year? Austin Birkin. I'll look to keep Austin Birkin for a year. We'll try to keep Mike McKenna as well. And I wanted to give him a max offer. There we go. And we'll worry about the rest later. Here's the thing. I could just release these players. I'm going to release Stewart, Wisniewski, Warsofsky. I'll keep Ramage. If I let go of anybody, I'm just going to have to more than likely sign them back directly. So, yeah, I'm kind of making this difficult for myself, but that's okay. So, Theo Peckham. Congratulations, Theo. This makes up for, hopefully this makes up for you not winning any of my Twitter hut giveaways in NHL 17. That's $15 million. Duncan Siemens we have to keep because, of course, look at his face. Not saying anything's wrong with his face. He's a beautiful man. He's just not a very flattering picture. Right wing, Joffrey Lupul. I mean, he was our leading scorer. Boy, he's asking for a lot of money, though. But you know what, Joffrey? You earned it. And mainly because this brings me up to $45 million spent. And I need to get up to the full 60, basically. We're going to let go of Bowl for the moment. I shouldn't have taken Malinen. Well, actually, I should have. He was eligible. But still. Or Moilanen. Yeah. Whatever. People told me how to pronounce his name correctly. And it's like, man, that's not going to happen. Welcome to this series where I'm absolutely not going to get a name right. And it may be dangerous to give Mike Richards of a few years ago $15 million, but I'm hoping now he's learned his lesson and he'll be fine. I'm also going to keep Jake Dowell on the team because Jake Dowell's a goddamn hero. And with that, we're good. So we are obviously going to have to sign quite a few people, but that's not an issue. We get our pick. We get to see everybody that's on the list, and we get to pick from there. Although players might still decline to re-sign. Although, that's not looking like it's a thing. Nope, Austin Birkin wants a bigger contract. So I'm going to let him go for now. There's a chance he'll come back. It should give me the prompt about, hey, you might lose Austin Birkin. Or not. It's just like, nope, screw it. Austin Birkin's gone. See you later. So there we go. let's take a look at the contracts and see what we need to do. Of course, we don't have injuries on, so we only need 4 goaltenders. Let me take a look here. Actually, this is the worst menu to be on. Let me go to trade player. It's easier to see it off of that list. Although mainly I was just going to look for the contract amount, which I didn't even look at. Have I mentioned them off my game? We're at 25 contracts. Looking at the goaltending, we do have 4 under contract. I don't think Sekikawa Luding is going to be eligible to play. So, I mean, at 19, it's kind of a fringe guess. I'll hold off because I think we already have a goaltender signed at the AHL level, but there's a chance we bring in another goalie. And then from there, we just need a ton of defense and a ton of forwards because there's nobody that we're going to sign. As I'm not burpy, I swear. And oh god, it's the worst. Anyway, if this isn't peak NHL 18 memes, the Seattle Sea Cattle, and we drafted Dawson Butt, then I don't know what else I can do. This is it. This is it for my channel. We've peaked. It's all downhill from here. So let's see. If we're going to bring in names and names that I like, or veterans and such, who are we going to sign? Do I look for the veterans? Kevin Biekson, his Superman punch. He's too good. He is too good. Aaron Johnson? Is that who this is? It is Aaron Johnson. Former Bruin, Aaron Johnson. We have $4 million in cap space, so I can just sign people to whatever the hell I want. Former Calgary Flame, I believe, as well. Zepnik McCulloch, Grill Fours, Jared Nightingale, Ehrhoff, Jay Harrison, Hambly. We could go for Hambly this time. Tollefson, Brian Rodney, Stewart, Derek Meach. Come on, there's got to be a name that really jumps off the page here. We had Chris Campoli last time. Clayton Stoner, Danny Richmond, Salcido, Mike Green, Ladislav Schmid, Laddie. Yes, please, because you're not in the game anymore, so it works out well. Honka Haimo. Otto Honka Haimo. Yes, please. Join my team. I'm begging you. Festerling, Jonathan Sigalet. Former Bruins pick in 2005. Why not? Let's give him a little bit of money. What else do we have here? Dylan Yo. Son of Mike? Related to Mike? That's my question of the day. Let me know, because I will not remember to look it up by the time I end this episode. Is that... I looked at the age and I'm like, that's definitely not Dan Boyle. Hellstrom. Alexander Hellstrom. That is the name. Dinger. Derek Dinger. Yep, you're getting signed, Derek. Your last name is Dinger. You are absolutely being signed. Little, Brian Straight, Corbinian Holzer, Chris Summers. Well, I'll sign Chris Summers. Why not? Why not? Decent player to sign. Former Portland Pirate, I do believe. Not mistaken. I know I've seen him play quite a bit. Also a former member of the Hartford Wolfpack. Matt Pelech. My God. I've told this story before. I got into a shouting match with Matt Pelech at a hockey game. It was great. Because look at him. I was shitting myself the whole time. Oh, so I'll sign him. Why not? Oh, Braun, Cody Franzen. What do we got here? Come on. Bergdorfer, Ben Blood. TJ Brennan has to be signed. He has to be. Like, that's a requirement. In any mode like this that I run, TJ Brennan has to be signed. Dan Kelly's a headshot artist, so we won't sign him. Andrew Bodnerchuk. I mean, I'm going to sign... Actually, well, 8 defensemen kind of works. I don't really think I need any more. Unless somebody once told me the world. Oh my God. I forgot. He's not on the DL Critchfield Penguin. Oh my God, yes. Yes. Nobody even suggests. A 17-year deal, please. Oh my God. Oh my God. I am the happiest man on the face of the earth. Somehow, Nobody, at least I didn't see a comment of anybody saying that. Someone would be like, no, I left this comment. See, I at least didn't see a comment. Hello, Zanetti as well. Someone I used to love to draft in like NHL 10. I did not see anybody comment, hey, remember, Rumble's available. Well, guess what? He is available. And we're going to sign him. I'm going to look at forwards now because I have offered way too many defenseman contracts. So who do we have for veterans here? Chimera, Hendricks, Ward, Filppula, Greg Rollo. I'm not pronouncing his name. Blaine Down. Hooten. Brock Hooten. Oh, the names. Vermette, Dwyer. Ryan Clough. Let's bring Ryan Clough in for the year. Of course, another player that I think he's still technically on the EA roster, but I take him out, of course, because his career is over. The reason I do that as well is, of course, I mean, they go on the LTIR, so they don't count towards the cap anyway. The team still has to pay him, but it doesn't count towards the cap. Who do we got here? Who do we got? Where are the names that are going to jump off the list? Jamie Tardif. Kink. Marcus Kink. This must be Philippi again. Yeah, so Pascal's not there. Rod Pelly. Florian Bush. It is Florian Bush in his great beard. Derek Whitmore. Ryan Garbett. Teddy Purcell. I'm not seeing the names here that I'm eager to sign like I was for the defenseman. But don't worry. In time, I will see the names and I will know that it's the right call. Or not. Because this is not working out too well. And I'm scrolling through a lot of names. Bobby Butler. Is that Robert Rosen? It is. It is Robert Rosen. Why did I know that was Robert Rosen? I don't know. Joel Reklich. Gotta sign the wrecker. Gotta sign the wrecker. Former Pirate. Gotta sign the wrecker. Who else do we have? Pohl, Chad Naring, Cleesh, Clune, John Matsumoto, Ryan Reeves. I could sign Brett Sutter. Sure, let's get another Sutter onto the team. Why not? We have Weiss, Alexander Weiss. It'd be Weiss, I believe, but still, the double S. Turnbull, Jack Skilly, who jumped to the KHL, Adolphson, Bass. Well, we can't show some sass, but we can sign Cody Bass. You see what I did there? Because Carson Sass. Cody Bass is getting signed, so Cody, you can go ahead and thank Carson for his tremendous name. Former Bruins draft pick. Nope, I'm mistaken. Not a Bruins draft pick, but he was definitely on the AHL team at some point. That is Callie Ritterwall, and his last name is Ritterwall. So I'm signing Ritterwall. Brian Gibbons, Warren. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that one name. It's fine. Gregor Hansen? Gregor Hansen. Come on, I need a few more names here. We're only up to 40 contracts. I need more than that. Who do we got? Zach Sill, Kyle Muller. Is that? No, I just noticed how old he was. And it's like, that's definitely not. Fraser McLaren. Oh my God, Fraser McLaren. Yes. What a signing. I swear to God, I saw D. Zucker, and I'm like, Darcy Tucker? Oh, it's been a long day. Matt Fratton. Is that Brock Little? It must be. It's Brian Little. I didn't notice he was a second line guy until I clicked on the name. McQueen? Jamie McQueen. We have Bast. Well, we can show some Bast and we can show some Bast. Sign him up. Just because his last name makes me giggle. We have Bonis. Kyle Bonis. Come on, Kangasmaki. Machek. I need a few more. Bobby Farnham. Tommy Jokinen. M. Jokinen. Gaisley. Brian Flynn. Storm? Frederick Storm. Solid name. D. Domenico. Let's go ahead and sign the D. Domenicos. Bring them in. A couple more guys here. We'll find them. Don't worry. Is that Riley Nash at a 76? That's disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful. Simon Moser, Jordan Nolan, Araya Hayes, Carter Camper, Skokan. Who else? We have none. Please, I need the names that jump off the page to me. And not Colton Beck or Cody Kunik. Justin Vive, son of a legend. Maple Leafs hero, Justin Vive. Sign him up. I need at least one more player. Probably just one more. It's not going to be Jimmy Hayes or Zach Ronaldo. Where is that one name that... We need the Rumble-type name for me. that really jumps off the page and makes me say that's the guy. And it's almost Corey Tropp as a former Portland Pirate, but not yet. Who is going to join the Sea Cattle? Derek Army. I was very close to going back to and signing, but that's still not quite the guy. We will find him. We're almost halfway through this damn free agent list. We're going to find him. Rest assured. Scott Glennie, a redemption story for the ages. One of the biggest top 10 draft pick busts we've seen in a long time. 8th overall pick in 2009. Feel free to go on the Wikipedia article for the 2009 draft to see who was picked before him, and more importantly, directly after him. No disrespect, Scott Glennie. You were still drafted 8th overall. I would ride that accomplishment to the day I died, as Chris Rumble and everybody else so far has signed. I'm going to keep spamming the button because everyone accepted. This team is set. I have the cap space as well to be able to optimize this lineup. And oh boy, rest assured, this lineup will be optimized. Oh my God, the biggest free agent signing. Now again, when I say I'm not allowed to sign free agents or make trades, I mean, obviously I can kind of screw around. Sometimes we have it be extremely strict and I have to sign the worst players possible. This time we're having a little bit more fun with it by bringing in the guys. I mean, obviously, we ended up with Joffrey Lupul, players like that, although he wasn't a direct free agent signing, but you get the point. Signing certain players that aren't exactly the worst, but it's not like they're tremendously rated anyway, except for Chris Rumble, who is going to win a Norris, because we are keeping him on this team until we can no longer do so. So until we have defensemen for both the NHL and the AHL level, Chris Rumble stays. And spoiler alert as far as captaincy goes, but I think you already knew that. At least I hope you already knew that, as I'm going to take a swig of this lovely beverage. You can already guess what this beverage is if you know me that well. And it's delicious. So let's take a look here. I don't know how we're listed as rebuilders. I mean, come on. We are the favorites. We are the world. Defense: Schmid, Brennan, Yonkman, Ramage, Johnson, Pelican, Summers. Let's call up the main man, Rumbell. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we are at 6. I'm going to send, you know what, Nolan Yonkman, you are done. I'm going to call up Theo Peckham. What do I want to do with Zanetti? Schmid. Do I want Laddie Schmid at the NHL level? I kind of do. I kind of like that 6, though, but I wanted to make sure that Zanetti got to be played. But him getting paid works out just as much. And then for the forwards, Mark Mancari's there. All right, so DiDomenico is going to get dropped for probably Andy Millet. Scott Glennie's getting his redemption story. Danny Paille's there. I need to send down at least one more guy. Who is that going to be? Not Tanner Glass, not Brock Trotter. Bernier. We'll send down Steve Bernier. And still one too many. Clough, Mike Brown, Setaguchi, Matthew Lombardi. Lombardi can get dropped. So McLaren, Hummel, Jake Dowell needs to play at the NHL level. So does Danny Paille, for that matter. So let's send down Mike Brown. And let's send down... you know what? Paille is not going to make it. But I am going to go with Jake Dowell. So there we go. The teams are set, aside from me just making sure that the lines are good. Let's optimize this as much as we can. So the top line will be the former Portland Pirate line of Millet, Adam, and Mancari, with Adam as the center. Second line will be, let's go Richards, Lupul, or Setaguchi, Richards, and Lupul. Third line, we're going to go with Glennie, Trotter, and Bork, because what a team. What a line. I have Bork on that side. Glennie's an actual center. I mean, Trotter's listed as a center, but he shouldn't be. And then from here, let's go with Clough on the proper side. This is a hell of a team. Millet, Adam, Mancari, Setaguchi, Richards, Lupul, Bork, Glennie, Trotter, Clough, Dowell, and Glass on defense. You already know the top pairing. It's Rumble and Brennan. It's Rumble and Brennan. And we'll have Theo Peckham play with Laddie Schmid. The former Oiler line. and Aaron Johnson with John Ramage, the goaltender, Enroth and McKenna. Let's take a look at the AHL. I'm just going to go best lines. It really doesn't give a shit. It really doesn't give a shit. I really don't give a shit, and it really doesn't matter whether or not it's our actual prospects or our actual players that are under contract in the lineup, because, doesn't matter. So case in point here, as we could use an extra goaltender, but there are no injuries. So the game signed Patrick Klein for me. I don't care. It's fine. So we are good. We are good. That NHL team is tremendous, dare I say. Tremendous. So let's set up the captaincies. Of course, with a lot of players retiring, there are some openings. So let's go. I'm tempted to go all defense. I mean, captaincy is set, no doubt. Peckham, Mancari, Brennan, Chris Bourque, Jake Dowell, Andy Mille, Luke Adam. Oh, I gotta go. Jake Dowell deserves one for sure. Jake Dowell's a hero. Theo, TJ, Mancari, Chris Bourque. I'm gonna go for Chris Bourque. I'm gonna go for Chris Bourque. Let's do it. Let's do it. Former Bruin. One of the greatest Hershey Bears in history. And a part of the most famous moment in hockey as he cried when Ray got the cup. And as far as the AHL captaincies and such go, I mean, it really doesn't matter because half of these guys won't even be in the lineup. But we are going to go for... Let's have Captain Paille. Captain Paille. We'll show some bass with him being an alternate. And let's go for Nolan Yonkman. Nolan Yonkman works. So there we go. The teams are set. The leadership is set. And as we look to end this episode, the only question is, before heading into Season 2, what exactly does the draft class look like for Season 2? We are about to find out. Silverthorne, by the way. Hell of a name. So let's go to the WHL. Marshall Legg, not eligible. Trent Bengoa is eligible. That could be huge. Why I can use the triggers to sort through here, but not on the actual draft board, I don't know. Ask EA. Lord knows I've asked enough times. Trent Fox is also an eligible player. Chuck Evans is not. Tyler Silverthorne, he's eligible. Yes. Dodge. Riley Knuble. Oh, man, we have some players here. I thought that was going to be Adam Wilde, even though it wouldn't be spelled the same way. I was so happy. Lucas Barofi is there. So, a whole lot of forwards. What's the defensive situation looking like? Not as good. Not as good. The best defenseman eligible is Gianni Fairbrother. So, this is not a big defensive draft for us. Goaltending, we do have Christopher Fraser, who is a must-get for us, because otherwise we're still screwed. So Christopher Fraser is one of the targets, absolutely, but then when it comes to forwards, we're looking really good. This should be a solid draft for us no matter where we end up in that first round. However, in the later rounds, it really drops off, aside from Chuck Lorenz. So we are going to have to hope that we end up with some steals. Because outside of that first round, and we're only going to get one, maybe two of those players if they fall to the second round, it's going to be rough. No defensemen that are really worth taking. One goaltender. The rest are forwards. It's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be an interesting time to see how it all pans out. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you are as well. I'm sure you are, because you wouldn't have made it this far into this episode if you didn't care about this series. Which, again, the only reason why this series is happening is because of you in the first place. Or maybe not you directly, but for those that supported the whole test run idea and went with it. So for that, I thank you. Despite how challenging this series is going to be, I am certainly looking forward to it for more reasons than one, but also because I have the dumbest smile on my face right now because of that view, that jersey, that C, and that name. You know what you can do to support the video, to support the channel, to support me. I will see you guys in the next one. Go Cattle. Or whatever the hell our chant's gonna be.